Need some last-minute fantasy football advice? Then the boys at the Fade Route have you covered. Check out Red Light, Green Light 123 with D and Z every NFL Sunday, noon Eastern during the regular season. D and I give you our top 1-2-3 fantasy starts or green lights, and our top 1-2-3 fantasy sits or red lights. That's Red Light, Green Light 123 with D and Z every NFL Sunday, noon Eastern during the regular season. That's Red Light, Green Light 123 with D and Z. Coming at you from the AO Studios, it's the Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Coming at you live from the AO Studio.
Ew.
It's the Fade Route, D and Z, back in the AO Studio. We've got a lot to talk about today. The Bucs are struggling. Mahomes is rolling. And could Rex Ryan be the next coach of the New York Jets? Good Lord. We'll begin today's show not with the election, but with the trade deadline in the National Football League. Lots of movement this year. Really what they want, to kind of pitch on ESPN. They're really glad that there's a lot of people moving around. So Z, we got Mike Williams to the Steelers. We got Marshawn Lattimore to the Commies. Tre'Davious White to the Ravens. Darius Smith to the Lions. Khalil Herbert to the Bengals. Just to mention a few. Z, what sticks out to you? What do you like? What don't you like? And who got better today?
Not to mention D-Hop to the Chiefs. Not to mention Josh Uche. That's the Chiefs definitely got better.
The Cowboys made a move too.
They got Mingo.
Mingo, right?
Mingo. Yeah, I had to double check to make sure it wasn't Barkevious Mingo. You remember Barkevious Mingo from the Browns?
I do.
High motor guy.
Pretty sure he's out of the league.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's our age. But even if he isn't, he's out of the league. No, a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo. Okay. Now, I just want to throw
someone to throw to.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll talk about that too. That's because CD's not going to be around for a while. He's kind of banged up as well. So CD's banged up. Dak is banged up. Well, Dak's gonna be on IR. That's shit.
On IR for 4 games for sure.
Yeah. So CD, I think, is gonna miss a game or 2, but that's gonna be a problem. It's gonna hamper them, for their quest for last place in the NFC East. If you think the Giants firmly have it, but I don't know. With all these injuries, the Cowboys may get caught. But let's talk about this. DeAndre Hopkins got a conditional pick for the services of DeAndre Hopkins. You sent an outright 4th rounder for this guy, and I had to look him up. It's like, who is this guy? What are we doing here? What are we absolutely doing here? I think that's just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic in Jerry World. You're looking at Khalil Herbert. I mean, Zach Moss is hurt with the Bengals, so you bring in a guy like Herbert. I know they were tied to Travis Etienne. If they could have pulled that one off, that would have been very interesting. But Khalil Herbert's going to serve just fine. I guess it goes to show you that the Zach Moss thing is not expected to be a season ender. That they expect him to return. I would have figured like a guy like Devin Singletary might have gotten a look. But
yeah, you know what? That's a very good point there. I'm surprised Singletary wasn't dealt to a contender, right?
3 guys on the Giants that I expected to move or that are still there, and I'm kind of puzzled. Slayton, solid 2. So if they could have gotten a 4, if the drunken sailors that are the Cowboys ponied up a 4th rounder for a guy we never heard of, Darius Slayton is actually not bad. What could Joe Shane have gotten? Devin Singletary, he's definitely one of those yeoman running backs. He's a veteran. You need guys like him. What could they have gotten for him? And the other guy is Azeez Ojulari. You're not moving Dexter Lawrence, not in season. If you are going to move Dexter Lawrence, that's in the off season. But you could have moved Azeez Ojulari. I know the Cardinals were interested in him. They could have gotten something back. Instead, the Giants are sticking with even Drew Lock. You know, like you're telling me they could have gotten up Drew Lock for a sixth.
I think they'd want to hold on to him. You know, I think that he might be starting soon. They might need him.
It's either him or the Italian. It's one or the other. It's gonna be Drew Lock or the Italian. If the season's the Italian kind of screwed up. They could have Jaden Daniels right now if he didn't win those fucking games. Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it. Like, great in the moment, great in the room, fantastic. Totally fucked us in terms of the future. Well done, Tommy. But Khalil Herbert's a solid move. I love the Lions getting Zadarius Smith. Love it.
It's nice. It's nice. He's not Aiden Hutchinson, though. I mean, it's kind of crazy, Z. They've only had one sack since Aiden Hutchinson got hurt. That's kind of scary.
I'm not surprised, though.
I don't think he's that much of a difference maker. I think right now, really, Goff is playing out of his mind, where he's throwing like no incompletions whatsoever. He's so efficient. That's what's really carrying the team. I worry about them in the playoffs, though, if they go into a cold spell. Defensively, it's not there, man. It's just not there.
No, they're playing a lot of man this year, and Aaron Glenn moved away from the defensive scheme that they ran last year, and they're going more into a man system, and it's really it's not what it was. But losing Aiden Hutchinson definitely changes that, and you have to try and build. You have to build them in the aggregate, like you like to say about Moneyball, right? So exactly. Zay Smith will get you something. He'll get something. The other thing I like Preston Smith going to the Steelers to kind of bookend with TJ Watt. That's pretty good. With Highsmith, that's pretty friggin' formidable. They got Mike Williams from the Jets. Maybe he'll be something. Maybe he won't. Like he's
just a burner.
He's a body. He's a warm body.
He's a burner. He's a burner, right? You throw him on the outside. Mike runs 70 yards down the field. Russ is going to throw you a moonball. That's who he is, and that's okay. That's okay. He's good for those things. I think he'll play well for Pittsburgh.
They needed somebody to offset George Pickens, and they got somebody. Is it Cooper Kupp? No, because the Rams are still in this thing. That's the only reason why it wasn't Cooper Kupp.
Well, they're sellers too. They sold Tre'Davious White to the Ravens.
Yeah, but they were looking to move Trey White for a while.
But I still think it's interesting. And up until last week, they were trying to move Kupp. The only reason why they really backed off of moving Kupp is because Nakua got hurt, man. Again. That's why they backed off, because they were winning. They're winning with who was their wide receiver? Their leading wide receiver while Nakua and
it's
Atwell.
Tutu Atwell.
Tutu Atwell was their guy, and they were making it work. Kyren Williams has been crushing it this year. Like, they're playing solid defense. They're probably going to win this week. They need the draft picks, man.
They're still in this thing, though. That's the thing about the West right now, because of all the injuries to the Niners, because of the mediocre play of the Seahawks, because of they're still in this thing.
I'm pretty sure they started out 3-0. They're 1-4, 1-5 in their last 6 games.
Yeah. And this was imminently winnable for them, right? You had two compromised teams, and Seattle didn't do much of anything. But I like the defensive moves. The Marshawn Lattimore move is interesting. The Saints sending him to the commies, and only for they got a third, a fourth, and a sixth rounder for Lattimore. That's a good haul. That's a good haul for a good corner.
For a guy who gets hurt a lot. He does. And I'm not sure if I might be reading this wrong, but I believe I read that in man-to-man coverage, he's only been beaten for a touchdown once in like the last 5 years.
That's crazy.
Wild.
That's insane.
That's some wild shit. But I don't know if they really. But my question would be for the commies is, what are you getting him for? You need help at corner? Like, who are you worried about?
They need a pass rusher.
You're worried about what? I guess they're worried about the Eagles. You're not worried about the Giants, right?
No.
You're not worried about Dallas. So who are you getting the corner for? Like, what do you need a corner of his stature for?
You're not worried about the Bucks, right? Not with Godwin and Evans out. Like, this isn't a move to beat the Bucks. This is a move to either knock off the Eagles if you face them again,
right,
or it's to knock off the Lions. The Lions, they've got some burners. So, you got Jamison Williams. You have options because teams are now going to try and scheme to beat the Lions. That's what happens. And maybe the Packers are going to be there at the end. Is this move going to shut down Justin Jefferson if the Vikings make it that far? I don't know. I don't think so.
That's a nice matchup.
Yeah, I don't think so. But you need a veteran presence, and he provides that as much. And you're reinforcing. Dan Quinn's reinforcing his roster as he should. And overall, I think the two Smiths and Lattimore were good moves. Herbert was a solid C+, B-. The fucking Cowboys thing was what it was. It was what it was. Like, we need a warm body. I don't feel like holding tryouts. Let's just fucking do this.
I lost the bet. Let's get him in here today.
Son of a bitch.
So yeah, I mean, I think the two that I liked the most was I like Tre'Davious White to the Ravens, because the Ravens, while they do play good defense, they're really struggling against the pass. And I like it. I think I mentioned it a little earlier. I do like Mike Williams to the Steelers. I like it. I like Mike Williams. I think he's a good burner. That's what he is. He's not a possession receiver. He's a guy that's going to run 30 to 40 yards downfield, run under the ball, or jump up and get it above everybody. He's also really good on the goal line. But these are my opinions. I don't think the Jets, he didn't fit in with the Jets and Rodgers. I think it's hard to fit in over there right now. I just do. I mean, they didn't need him. I don't even know why they signed him in the first place. The signing in the beginning didn't even make sense. I don't even know why they went and got him. He just didn't fit what Rodgers likes in receivers, right? Rodgers has never had a receiver like him before. He doesn't know what to do with him. But Russ, and I think the Steelers are really, really in this. And they're 8,000 to 1 to go to the Super Bowl right now. If you wanted to make a bet responsibly, but man, I like what they did here. They have a big test coming up this weekend, and they were going to find out a lot about the Steelers this weekend.
We definitely are. We're going to see what the Steelers are made of, particularly the Steelers with Russ. Who have you faced?
Yeah.
Like, you faced the Giants.
They've had 2 weeks to prepare for the commies here. So yeah. We're going to find out. You can't help but smile when you see a balloon. PopstarsBalloons.com offers spectacular balloon decor for all of life's events, specializing in custom balloon creations and installations for private events, corporate and school functions, photo shoots, brand events, and fundraisers. Led by certified balloon artists, the Popstars Balloon team shape balloons into custom works of art. Popstar Balloons provides full concept balloon design, build and installation services, as well as pre-assembled decor pieces available for pickup or delivery. Popstar Balloons is a woman-owned, small family business focused on providing professional balloon services using only high-quality, 100% biodegradable natural latex balloons made in the US and Italy. They consistently prioritize the safest use and handling of balloons in a sustainable and responsible manner. Popstars Balloons is located in Westchester County, New York, but likes to party at events throughout New York City, Connecticut, Long Island, and New Jersey. Popstars Balloons can also accommodate balloon decor services for destination events. No event too big, no event too small, and their custom personalization service is the perfect touch. They also offer a full line of event decor options like backdrop, prop rentals, tablescapes, dessert table setups, custom signs, and they always deliver with a smile. Whether you're looking for gift balloons, classic decor, or large-scale design for a big impact, Popstars Balloons will create the perfect decor for your theme, vibe, and space. So if you have an idea in mind or need inspiration, Popstars Balloons decor will be the cutting edge and spectacular. Visit PopstarBalloons.com to pop your next event. But we found out last night that the Chiefs are still undefeated, man. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs beat the Bucs last night on Monday Night Football to improve to 8-0. The Bucs dominated most of the game. I watched the game. And it took an overtime touchdown by Kareem Hunt to seal the victory for the Chiefs. Mahomes did have 3 touchdowns, but he's having a down year. They really don't have a starting wide receiver. They got Hopkins in there, but this was only his second game. You got Kareem Hunt at running back because Pacheco's been out most of the year. But they're still the last undefeated team. Can they run the table, and how are they doing this?
Total team buy-in. But, that's what you're getting, right? You have a guy like Samaje Perine. Okay, like he's just waiting his turn, next man up, boom, he's in, right? Kareem Hunt, right? Cast off from Cleveland, reputation tarnished, came back, whatever you need, coach. Like it's a different attitude, right? And he's contributing. They're finding a way. They have the 3 tight ends, not just Kelsey. They're 3 tight ends deep. Yeah, I mean,
I love Watson.
Watson's good. Gray he's got potential, and then really the wideouts are the issue, right? You got McCole Hardman and Juju. Oh, well, fuck it, we'll go get DeAndre Hopkins. Well, fuck it, well, let's just do it. And it's another guy. It's just like I'm just gonna do what is needed of me. I'm gonna fit into the system, and I'm gonna make this work because this might be my best shot or my only shot. So I get that, but it's you like to talk about, in the NBA they like to talk about the Miami Heat culture. The Chiefs have a culture. The Chiefs absolutely have a culture. It goes down from the Hunts to Andy Reid through Patrick Mahomes onto the field. And it permeates everything that they do. And if you don't fit in, you are fucking gone. Look at Kadarius Toney. Fucking gone. He's on the Cleveland Browns. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Like I found that. Yeah. I found that out the other day. I was like, holy shit, Kadarius Toney's still in the league. Not only is he still in the league, he's in Cleveland.
God bless America.
So maybe, it's Cleveland's trying to reclaim its role as the NFL equivalent of Siberia. So good for you. Or the Witness Protection Program, whichever one you prefer. But it's organizational buy-in. It's, Spags has that team, that defense where it needs to be. Are they going to run the table? I don't think they're going to run the table. But it really is organizational buy-in to the fact that you're not going to beat them, right? Like they have the mindset that you're not going to beat them on any given night. They're not going to beat themselves. So it's that level. It's not cockiness. It's not, it's not showboating. It's not, braggadocio. It's that confidence that we step on the field, we own this shit. Now, they are undefeated right now. Their schedule, people are starting to think about it because their schedule isn't the strongest, but it's possible, but highly unlikely. Because here's what you got. Stop me when you think there's a loss. Denver.
L.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
interesting.
Man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Buffalo. So you're thinking a 2-game losing streak?
Possibly.
Okay. Carolina. Vegas. The Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Potentially.
Cleveland. Houston.
No.
Here's where it gets tricky. Houston on the 21st. Pittsburgh on Christmas Day.
Yeah. 4 days later.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's insane. Like that's a bit much.
On Netflix.
On Netflix, yes. So they're on NBC on Saturday night on the 21st.
I wonder if that's one of the games kind of you just punt too, especially if you're not undefeated. Like if you've already got like a loss or two.
Yeah.
I wonder if you really, especially if you've got a decent lead for the number 1 seed, if you kind of punt on that game, you're like, ugh. we got to go to Pittsburgh first of all,
Right.
and they're gonna beat the shit out of us. Maybe we just go in with a B game plan and just try to get out alive.
Right. That's the one
Because
where
then they have a division game at the last game of the season, which could decide if the Broncos are going to make the playoffs or not.
well, I mean, stranger things have happened. We thought the Broncos were gonna, make an accounting of themselves, and they haven't done it. So, it does depend. You're right. Absolutely. If they go down a couple games, if they have 4 losses at that point, because we penciled them in for a couple of L's there, and there's 2 that potentially could go the other way. So you're looking at potentially 4 losses. Second place right now, and of course the season doesn't end right now, but Buffalo is currently in second. It's possible that last week could mean something. Home field advantage, best record, yada yada. So we know what's at stake. It's very possible that last weekend could mean something for the Chiefs, Bills, and Steelers. So, if that's the case, they're going to do the honorable thing and they're going to play their people because it benefits them. But it is a total buy-in, and Patrick Mahomes is not having a great year. You're absolutely right. He needs to get picked up, and that is where the culture comes in. They pick up each other. Travis Kelce was dog shit at the beginning of the year. The tight ends picked him up, right? Rashee Rice picked him up. This is it. How do you beat a united front? How do you do that? Because right now, they are humming on all cylinders, and you can't find a crack in any of it.
I think the thing with them is they've been together. The core group has been together for many years now, right? And they, they're winning games, but they're not crushing anybody, and I think it's great that they are winning games by a touchdown, a point, 3 points, 5 points. Definitely shows dexterity, and it just shows how good of a team you are, especially with their latest win against the Bucs. The Bucs were beating their ass most of the game.
Yeah.
And then, had to go into overtime, and that's what really determined it. They keep winning these close games. And I just think at some point, the ball is going to get tipped or not bounce in their favor. And I think they want that to happen in the regular season and not have it happen in the playoffs or, down the stretch. And, they haven't been healthy, and they're still winning games. Their defense is playing crazy. They didn't play well last night, but they're playing really well. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes down the stretch. I do not think they're going to run the table, and I think the way they're getting it done is the cohesiveness of the team. A lot of familiarity there. Like you said, all the tight ends they have. Kareem Hunt was on the team, off the team, and back on the team again. Yeah. They have Patrick Mahomes, who, even though he's having a down year, when the light shines brightest or when it's late in the game, he's coming through for them. And as long as you have that, they're going to be okay.
It's a good problem to have. What is coming down the pike for them? You're looking at Edwards-Helaire coming back, Pacheco coming. Now all of a sudden, you're kind of flush with guys, right? So health is important, but does that also create a little bit of tension? Because with everything, there's always a healthy amount of ego. Edwards-Helaire, Pacheco, both of them have started games in a Super Bowl for the Chiefs. Kareem Hunt was a stud player for years.
Greedy!
Yeah. So he was there. He was there at the beginning. So what is the atmosphere once everybody comes back, and once there's competition for playing time, once there's touches, once there's competition for touches, how does that impact what's happening here?
Yeah, I would think that they would go to Pacheco in the early downs, and Hunt would kind of be like the third down back in the goal line back. That's the way I would think they would do it. I would expect DeAndre Hopkins to keep growing in the offense and ultimately become a number one. The kid that they drafted, he's good. He just, he's really fast. He's just got to learn to stay in bounds, and and watch his assignments and stuff like that, I think it's only going to make the team better. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I mean, we're going to see, like we've seen situations where that becomes an issue, right? When you have a little bit of competition or a little bit of, a little battle for playing time, and it just kind of goes south on you. But speaking of going south, the New York Jets are making headlines yet again.
What the fuck?
They can't stay out of their own way. They can't help themselves. They can't. They just can't. They're like, we haven't had enough attention. Look at us. People are starting to wonder who the next head coach will be next, because it doesn't look like Ulbrich. It certainly does not look like it's going to be Jeff Ulbrich. A name that has come up and will always seem to come up because he's a fan favorite is Rex Ryan. Could you see Rex coming back to coach the Jets? And if not Rex, who?
Gosh, that would just be so stupid, right? How stupid would that be? Another stupid hire would be like Cliff Kingsbury. Because he's doing so well down there in Commanderland, where they've only turned over the ball 3 times.
Right.
Listen, I was never a big Rex Ryan fan. I kind of think of him as Saleh. Like, he was a great defensive coordinator. He can call a defense. He can rally guys to the football, but he just knows nothing about offense. He knows nothing about quarterbacks. He knows nothing about how the other side of the ball works. And his old mantra was like, well, run the ball and play defense, which is a great mantra to have, and it worked for them. They got to the AFC Championship game twice, right? But when all the chips are laid down, your quarterback needs to be able to do more than just turn around and hand the ball off. I mean, it's not 1985.
Well, that's the problem. Buddy Ryan couldn't figure it out either. It's something. It's familial.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mike Vrabel might be a good one. He had success in Tennessee, which I don't think was easy. And while Mike is a defensive-minded guy, I just think he knows more about the football game as a whole than a Rex Ryan does or that a Robert Saleh does. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's a no bullshit guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been around Vrabel before. I've talked to him before. He's just a no nonsense guy. He doesn't want to hear excuses. He holds people accountable, and that might work. I don't think they should go to college. I don't like the idea of Pete Carroll. I don't like Cliff Kingsbury. Do you flirt with a Brian Flores again? I mean, man, he really has that Minnesota Viking defense playing well. He's with Minardi. He's a defensive-minded guy.
It's tough, because my question to you is, who's the quarterback? Is it Rodgers? Because if it's Rodgers, it ain't gonna be Rex. Like, that is just like, that's like, think of the worst combination of things out there. A braggadocious head coach and a braggadocious quarterback. That's not going to work. The reason why Brett Favre worked here is because Mangini didn't say shit. Like that. But
did he work though, Z? Did he really work?
They were what, 9-0 until he got hurt, and then when he got hurt, that's when the dick pic started happening, and that's when things really went south for Brett Favre.
The only thing I remember about Brett Favre is him throwing an interception to a Miami Dolphins lineman to pretty much end the season for the Jets, and the Dolphins, who traded Chad Pennington away, made it to the playoffs that year.
Comeback player of the year. Comeback player of the year, Chad Pennington. If Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback,
Rodgers is the quarterback, and unless they get a top 10 pick, he's got to be their quarterback.
I don't know, man. Like, at some point, there is a level of self-awareness thing. He might leave them holding the bag. I'm still convinced that if things continue the way they're going, he'll pack it in. Like, because this is embarrassing to him.
Aaron Glenn seems like one of their hires, right?
Yeah.
Former Jet. That seems like a way they would go. They're not going to go with Deion Sanders, right?
No, you're not going splashy. You're not going splashy for that reason. Now, you're going to want to go with a coordinator, relatively cheap, kind of unknown. The only thing I can say is that if you're going to end up with a braggadocious, like, bullshit artist, for lack of a better term, watch the Eagles. Because if they end up firing Sirianni, I could see him sticking with the Jets. I could see that. For some reason,
Fire him?
there's smoke here. There is absolute smoke here. Now,
Really?
the offense has regressed. They're up. Yes, they are in their third coordinator under him. The entire coaching staff was, they took the coordinators and they're kind of jumbling them around. He's the constant, and it's been a steady decline. They've been good. They were much better. And it appears that his punchable face and his demeanor are wearing thin in Philly. And if it's wearing thin in Philly, that's kind of crazy. That's absolutely crazy if it's wearing thin in Philly. But I can see the Jets doing something like that because he's a blowhard, a lot like Rex Ryan. So if he's available, I think they would absolutely bend over backwards to try and get him in the room, at least for an interview.
There's Ben Johnson.
I don't think Ben Johnson wants to go anywhere right now.
Bobby Slowick, offensive coordinator of Texans.
Slowick maybe. I think the Lions will pay him to stay. Because all of this flirtation with what kind of head coach he wants to be.
Even if they win the Super Bowl, you think he'll want to stay? You don't think he'll want a head coaching job?
I think it's better to stay where you are because we've seen this before. We've seen the hot coordinator off a Super Bowl take a head coaching job and not be nearly prepared. Like we just mentioned Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan was the defensive coordinator for the 85 Bears. How is he as a head coach? So you're not taking the Lions with you. You're taking your offense with you, but you're not taking Goff. You're not taking Montgomery. You're not taking Jameson Williams. You're not taking Laporta. You're not taking that squad. So you got to think twice if you're Ben Johnson. Is the grass greener? Sometimes the grass is greener because people are shitting over there. So
I think it's not only about the grass being greener, it's about being a head coach. It's about being the guy. It's about the guy making the decisions, having your own team, doing it your way. I think it's more than it just being greener on the other side. It's about, this is what you want. You don't want to be a coordinator your whole life. You want to be a head coach. Everybody wants to be the head coach.
Yeah, but
give it a shot.
But here's the thing, though. You have to look at the organization. You're not just taking a job for the sake of taking the job. If you're presented with, because these are potential jobs that could be open. The Patriots, potentially, because Gerard Mayo's not lighting the world on fire. The Giants, Brian Dable's not exactly lighting the world on fire after his first season, right? There's rumors about Mike McDaniel. I don't understand that one, but hey, Stephen Ross isn't exactly a patient guy. The Dolphins could be available. The Saints are already available. Like the world's your oyster, man. If you're Ben Johnson, you can pick and choose. You can call your shot. Am I going to pick the Jets? Am I going to really go with that history behind it? Am I going to do that? I'm not so sure. I have pause, especially since I don't know about the quarterback. Am I going to have to kiss Aaron Rodgers' ass in order for him to buy in order for him to do what I want? Do I have to debase myself, and do I have to already lose dignity as a head coach in order to please this asshole? Or am I in the wilderness again because he went up and fucking retired and I got Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders or, whoever? It's tough. That's a tough situation. I don't know. I would have serious pause about going to the Jets. I would.
He should.
Everybody should. Forget all gas, no brake. How about Jets? Pump the brakes.
Hey there, NFL football fans. This is the lovely Rita Sanchez, aka your option football champ for the 2023 NFL season. I'm inviting you to join us for the 2024 option, where we pick the winning teams for each week's matchups and compete against each other to see whose picks reign supreme. Are you in? Head over to CBS Sports and search for the Option 2024 League, or hit the link in the bio on the Fade Route socials and join today. It's for free. Pick a witty name, some winning teams, and I'll see you out there for week 1.
Oh man, but moving over to basketball.
Speaking of pumping the brakes,
The Milwaukee Bucks continue to struggle with a 1-6 start. On the flip side, they just lost to the Cavs, who are 8-0 and are the NBA's only undefeated team left. So which team is more surprising to you at this point? Is it the Milwaukee Bucks or is it the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I mean, the Bucks at least have an excuse. They have a valid reason. Giannis is banged up, but Giannis is always kind of banged up, right? He's had that back problem for years.
I think he's having a tremendous season. I think he's playing really well.
Yeah,
I don't know why he might be banged up, but he's playing at an MVP caliber level.
And their MVP caliber level is 1-6.
I know, that's really...
So that's,
I know it's early, but I mean...
You're digging a hole that you might not be able to get out of. Like, that's a problem. That's a major...
You guys ready to turn it on yet? Or, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, Giannis is day to day, right? Aren't we all? Middleton's out, Bobby Portis just got his house broken into. Like, Brook Lopez is Brook Lopez. Your two guard is Gary Trent. Not senior, junior. So if it was Gary Trent senior, maybe this would be better. And then Dame Lillard. Like, there's not a lot here that's like, oh yes, we'll be fine. Like, coming off your bench, you have Connaughton, you have Taurean Prince, you have the aforementioned Portis.
Man, they lost back-to-back games to the Cavaliers.
But you know what? Maybe you're underselling the Cavaliers here. Like, they've been decent for a while, right? They've been hovering in that 4-6 range.
Yeah.
So, you have Darius Garland, who appears to be taking the next step. You have Donovan Mitchell doing what Donovan Mitchell does. This is another year of them kind of gelling and coming together cohesively. Is this sustainable? Probably not. No, probably not. Do I expect the Cavs to be ahead of the Celtics at the end of the year? No, I don't. Teams get to a hot start all the time, but the thing about the Cavs is that they're good enough and they're deep enough that they can be a problem. They've been a problem for a while. You're looking at, they got Karis LeVert, you have Jarrett Allen, you have Evan Mobley, you have some quality players here, and you have a little bit of scoring depth because it's not all on Donovan Mitchell. So, we should expect that the Cavs are going to kind of come back down to earth, but they've been building this for a while. The Bucks, I mean, I know that you had them in the conference finals, I believe, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly,
I did,
on star power alone, right? On star power alone, you should be able to do that. But health is fragile, and depth. The Cavs have it, the Bucks don't. Plain and simple. So I'm not surprised by the Bucks because they've been trending in this direction for a while. It's disconcerting, but not surprising. The hot start by the Cavs, though, is that's definitely something that's giving you pause and making you pay attention.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Cavaliers start is impressive. It's very impressive. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the Bucks. It just seems this thing is just not working out. Like, they went and got Doc Rivers. They went and got Dame Lillard. Chris Middleton's hurt. He had surgery on both of his ankles, Z. I mean, really, what are we expecting from Chris Middleton when he gets back? Are we expecting him to really be like the third guy there? I mean, are really expecting him to be that good? I don't really know. I hate to see this. I think they might want to think about dealing Giannis. They might want to think about like looking at trading with, I don't know, like the Blazers. Try to get maybe Jeremy Grant. I mean, they need something, dude. Like they need like 20 and 6 from somebody else. And I don't know if Chris Middleton's going to be able to deliver that for them. And that's from the Bucks perspective. From the Cavs perspective, this is year 3 of this, right? This is year 3 of these two guards playing together. And at some point, it's like, all right, well, what are we? What are we going to be? We can't keep losing like 4-1 to like the Knicks, or getting swept by teams. Like, we've got to compete. I'm not going to say the East is open, because I do think that it's the Boston Celtics in the East, right? And then the 76ers, I got to imagine eventually Paul George and Joel Embiid are going to play together at some point. And then you always got to worry about the Heat. So yeah, I think there's going to be opportunities there, but it's definitely a nice start for Cleveland. It's a nice start for the Cavaliers.
Interesting that you mentioned trading Giannis. Or why would you consider moving Dame Lillard instead? Because who is going to get you more value? Is it going to be Lillard or is it going to be Giannis?
I would think Giannis would get me more value because he's a big man. He's a former MVP. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, Dame Lillard's a big name and he's a good player, but he hasn't won anything. Sometimes he doesn't even make the All-Star team. He played in a small market. Like, it. No, I'd rather keep the guard. I'll keep the guard.
So if Miami finally decides to put Tyler Hero in the trade, you're not gonna jump at that? You wouldn't send him down to Miami?
No. I'd want to send him out west somewhere. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh God, could you imagine if he ends up on the Lakers?
Golden State. You got to get value.
Yeah.
I need value. It's just not where I can't see them turning it around. I know it's early, but I mean,
what about San Antonio to accelerate the clock with Wemby?
Could they really give me value though? What can they really offer me back? I need value.
Yeah.
I need picks. I need players. I want to compete still. I just can't win with him because rumors are he's a coach killer too.
Well, they have a couple, right? Because Giannis his hands aren't exactly clean in the last issue. The reason why Doc Rivers is there, right? So,
right. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna get rid of the coach killer. I'm gonna get some draft picks, get a player or two, and we'll try to compete within the next 3 years while Dame is still here.
I mean, it's worth that. It's worth exploring, but it's definitely, the cupboard is pretty bare beyond those two. But
in Phoenix last night, Paul George played.
Wow.
But it wasn't enough as the Suns beat the 76ers 118-116. Absent from the game was Joel Embiid, who the 76ers are still holding out of games. Fans in Philly are getting restless with Embiid, and now comes out that Embiid shoved a reporter who wrote something negative about him in the paper, and he just got suspended for 3 games. So, I mean, where do we go from here with this team and Joel Embiid?
I mean, to be fair to Joel Embiid, I believe that the reporter was out of line, citing Embiid's dead brother. So I think it's something. I don't think that's someplace you go to. I really, families. You can critique play all you want. You can talk about perceived lack of hustle. You can discuss inflated contracts. leave the man's family out of it. Was he right to put his hands on him? No, but I completely understand it. But kind of like the Jason Kelsey thing. Was he wrong for taking the dude's phone and smashing it? Yes, he was. But the guy was also in the wrong for verbally harassing him and insulting Travis Kelsey. And, and Taylor Swift as well. So 2 wrongs don't make a right in that instance, and 2 wrongs don't make a right in the Joel Embiid instance. It's concerning. It's definitely concerning that he doesn't appear to be close. Right? He doesn't appear to be close. He's also declared that he's not going to play in back-to-backs anymore. So how is Nick Nurse going to navigate that one? The guy is on record saying, I ain't going to play. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm going to get a Wawa hoagie and I'm just going to sit here and chill. Shout out to Wawa. Send us some free stuff. But, yeah, like it's, you made this bed. You made this bed and you didn't even get a chance to sleep in it because it's like covered in fleas and shit. Like it's it's terrible. It's terrible, but you have no choice but to live with it. Like you're not going to trade Joel Embiid. You may get, we talked about the potential of a Giannis trade. Joel Embiid's not going to get you what you think you're going to get from either because his injuries history is as long as my arm. So, it's one of those things that you're not, the solution's not going to be, we're just going to trade Joel Embiid. No. You made your bed. You're going to have to lie in it. You're going to have to. And it's up to Maxey. It's up to Harris. It's up to these guys to, and George is playing. So it's up to those guys to, fill the shoes of Joel Embiid until he decides that he's ready to get on the court. Because, you're kind of over a barrel here. You have no choice. So strap in. It's gonna be a wild ride in Philly this year, and I don't know. I'm sure the Philly fan, the ever measured and rational Philly fan, is going to be totally okay with this. Absolutely, totally fine with this. No, take the time you need. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. We got you. No, completely.
It seems like this was a plan. So it seems like they know what they're doing. I just think this is a hard thing to sell to a fan. And it's like, so you got a guy who's not playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's already said, like, I've done so much for this fucking city. Saying that about Philly, not the smartest thing you've ever did.
Right.
Okay. You haven't won anything.
No.
Doesn't help. Now you're saying you're not going to play in back-to-backs. Okay. So now you're really sticking it to the season ticket holder. Okay.
Yep.
And now you're shoving the PR people. You're shoving reporters. These are the people that write about you. They're supposed to put you in good favor, right? Now you're shoving them around, giving them a hard time. It's just, Philly is not one of the places you could do this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that here. Like, dude, you're gonna get booed next time you're on the court. You're getting booed. And then how's that gonna make you feel? How's that gonna go over?
Oh, you're gonna feel so good.
I think this is the beginning of the end for Joel Embiid there, actually, because because now, Z, what happens is when he comes back, he actually does get hurt, right? He, I'm not saying he's not hurt now, but let's say he does he gets a serious injury. So now you're still not playing,
right?
And now we gotta watch fucking Paul George play, just jamming ice pick into my fucking eye. Like, yeah, I just think it seems like Giannis and it seems like Embiid are just, their time in those cities it's coming up.
So, all right, you open the door. I'm going to step through it. What about a Giannis for Embiid swap?
It's tough because Embiid's hurt. So if I'm Milwaukee, I'm reluctant to make that trade. I don't see the value in bringing him here and teaming him with Dame Lillard. Like, how's that gonna go? I'd have to get more than just Embiid. Now for the 76ers, that's a home run, right? You're getting an MVP, a former MVP, a guy who's won a championship.
Yeah.
You've already got a good coach. You've already got a good guard on your team. You have shooting.
And you have Paul George.
It's a good move for the 70, and you have Paul George. It's a good move for the 76ers to make, but I don't see Milwaukee. I don't see how that really benefits them.
It really doesn't. You know, like that. Both teams are a combined 2-11 right now, so it's really not much. Nothing's really benefiting either side right now. So perhaps some changes of scenery need to be made. But yeah, I mean, Philly, like this, you knew what you were getting into when you decided to go this route. You know, you did this to try to compete with the Knicks. You tried to compete with the Bucks, although, like, you know, right now there's no competition with the Bucks. Right there, you're both pretty shitty. You are what your record says you are. Everybody's looking up at Cleveland and Boston right now. So you kind of have to ride it out, because then you have to do something crazy. Like, by alternative, you have to do something crazy by your own admission. So I think that, you know, Joel Embiid also has to look in the mirror a little bit, and he has to start thinking about who he is and who he wants his legacy, you know, what he wants his legacy to be as an NBA player. Does he want to be the guy who was constantly thought of as this dude who's made of glass? So another guy who's like that's Anthony Davis. But the only difference is that Anthony Davis has that bubble championship. So he can hang his hat on that. So something to think about. But, you know, like Anthony Davis, though, he has a reputation as a man who's made of glass. I believe he's hurt again.
He is hurt. Yeah.
He is hurt. So
he's having a very good season, though, but then he got hurt.
Right. So street close strikes again. Like, do you want to be like that? Do you want to be derided in public by a guy like Charles Barkley called street clothes? Like, is that what you want your reputation and your legacy to be? At some point, you're going to have to play. It's not, I know it's probably not ideal for you. You may get hurt. You may get banged up. But that's the risk you play. That's the risk you run. It's professional sports. It's not tiddlywinks. It's not chess, right? It's not competitive, you know, it's not competitive tic-tac-toe. This is professional sports. You want something, you got to risk something. And that's what you'll be remembered as. Fans will always remember you. You're a prodigious talent. But what are you going to give them beyond that? That is in your control. And right now, you're giving them Ugats.
For all you grill masters, green thumbers, DIY aficionados, and home repair heroes in the Richmond, Virginia area, if you're looking for personal service quality products and a convenient shopping experience, then look no farther than Thacker Ace Hardware in Colonial Heights. Owner Don Rackley and his team of local experts have everything you need to tackle every project around the house. I'm talking Benjamin Moore paint, Milwaukee and Craftsman power tools, plumbing, electric, hardware, the works. For you green thumbers, their nursery department is top notch, and I wouldn't be me if I didn't mention the grills. They have Weber, Blackstone, Big Green Egg, Traeger. I want one of everything. Give them a call today at 804-766-4223 and see how they can assist you. Or swing by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. That's Thacker Ace Hardware, 804-766-4223, or swing by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. Thacker Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Time to put some grades in. Welcome to the classroom. All right, boys and girls, take out your notebooks, take out your pens and pencils, because it's time to go into the classroom. Here's how it goes. Dee and I give you a statement, and we will give you a letter grade for that statement. Statement number 1. Clayton Kershaw declining his option with the Dodgers.
F.
Ooh.
F. Where are you going, bro? Like, everybody wants to come play for the Dodgers. Where are you going? You think they're going to give you more money to come back after not playing last year? I mean, he barely played. I don't really... I'm signing up. I'm like, yeah, I'm sticking around here. I'm playing here. I've been here my whole career. Where am I going now? Here you go. Come and play for the Braves? You're going to come play for the Yankees? F. F, F, F.
In terms of self-awareness, it's an A. You know, he's on the south side of his career. He's on the downside of his career. Gets that. 36 years old. He's beaten, broken down. 2-2 on the season last year with a 4.5 ERA, a 1.5 WHIP. That is hardly the guy who dominated.
What's he want to be? He wants to be DeGrom. He wants to be Scherzer. Is that what he wants to do now?
I don't know. I think that, I mean, he's 36. He's not going to get that long-term deal. He may very well, he may very well just kind of like latch on someplace. It's, he's from Dallas. Would he go to Houston, or would he go to the Rangers? Well, the Rangers seem to be tearing down payroll. They seem to be trying to shed payroll. Yeah. Would he go take a 1-year veteran deal, kind of like be the anchor of our staff? Possibly. But here's what I really think is happening. And I think this is what some of these maneuvers are actually about. I think they're just trying to free up some money for Mr. Soto. So how are we going to do this? Bring Kershaw back at a lesser rate. You're going to be the back end of the rotation guy. You're going to be our 4th or 5th starter. And you save us money because we're going to go throw it at the big guy. Like, I think, because eventually this... So
you think they work this out with him?
I think it's already preordained. I think so. So in terms of self-awareness, this is an A move.
If I read this as he was declining, I didn't read this as like, the organization declined his option. It sounded like he was... Well,
no, I think this was probably...
opting out.
Well, I think it's probably a conversation that was had.
Oh, so like, they told him, hey, opt out.
Yeah,
and
here
we'll bring you back on a lower deal.
It's like, Clayton, here's the plan. Do you want to play next year? Here's the deal. Do you want to play next year?
Do you want to play here next year?
Right. This is what you're going to work. This is how it's going to work. Right? This is how it's going to work. We're not giving you a qualifying offer because you're not worth $21 million right now. No, you're not. You're not. So, your parts last year were worth 10 cents a pound. So if you want to stay a Dodger, this is what you're going to have to do. And I'm sure a lot of those guys would think about that. But if it's purely a self-awareness move, it's A. If he thinks he's getting money, it's a total F. If he thinks he's getting any more than a 1-year deal, total fucking F. No way is Clayton Kershaw getting more than a 1-year deal.
So you think if he didn't collude with the team, that this is an F?
Yes, absolutely. Unless he's in on it with the organization, this is completely an F. Dude, what are you doing? Although he'll,
check the wrong box, asshole.
I meant to opt in. It's too late. Shit. Statement number 2. The Yankees not extending a qualifying offer to Gleyber Torres.
I'm gonna say it's a B, and I'm only saying it's a B because he did come on last year towards the end of the year, but I think his time in New York has just run its course. It's like, dude, we didn't win while you were here. You could go get paid somewhere else. Because I think we talked about this before. I think Chisholm could move to second base potentially. I don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to give it a B. They don't really need him.
From the Yankees standpoint, I got to give it a C. I don't like it from the standpoint that you're you're punting on international bonus money and 2 draft picks if a team signs him. So the potential is there. Now, the risk would be him saying, okay, cool, 21 million. I'm in. Fuck. Damn it. He called our bluff. Son of a bitch. So that's the risk you run with Gleyber Torres. It's a C move. They have this kid, Caleb Durbin. They're pretty high on him. If they don't move Chisholm to second, they think that Durbin might be the guy. I don't know. We'll see. You know how it is with prospects. Prospects are suspects until they prove themselves. But I'm with you. I think Gleyber's time in New York has come and gone. And it wouldn't surprise me, though, another guy, if the Dodgers don't win out on Willy Adames. Gleyber could fit. Adames is going to be in play, man. He absolutely is. I could see, the Brewers might try and get and re-up him. You're looking at, you can move him to third base and have him kind of anchor the left side of an infield. Fuck, the Padres need a shortstop. They got 4 of them on their roster. They still haven't found their shortstop, even though they got 5 of them. So, who's to say that he doesn't end up in San Diego? So, the Giants could use somebody to replace Brandon Crawford. You have a lot of options there. So Gleyber as a fallback option, if you lose out on Willy Adames, might not be the worst thing in the world. So, I mean, we'll see where he goes. I don't love the move because you're not getting that haul back, but he had to go. So I'm going to give it a C. Statement number 3. This whole Gerrit Cole thing. Opting out of his contract, but then opting back into his contract, but not getting the raise. He ended up with the same contract length and money that he originally had.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it was the difference of like $10 million. Like, I think if I read that correctly. I think it's just C. The whole situation just stinks. So I'm giving it as grade as a C. It sounded like, he opted out because he wanted more money, and they kind of gave him, similar to what you talked about Kershaw, they kind of gave him a call. It's like, listen, dude, like, we're trying to get better here. We're trying to get Soto. Stop giving us a hard time and just come back. Let's just make it what you were making, and let's just call this a day. And it sounded like it was like they really had to talk about it from a financial standpoint. He's your ace. There's nothing you could do. I mean, he kind of has you by the balls there, and the fact that he played ball, I give it a C.
For the Yankees, I'm gonna give it a C. Is fair for the Yankees. For Gerrit Cole, this is an F. Fuck you. Like, are you kidding? If they put the check on first base, he would have run over and covered.
Oh.
Yeah, right here. You heard it here first.
I like how people trying to blame Rizzo. It's just like,
such
what are
bullshit.
You talking about? The ball cued on him. No, even if Rizzo was intending to get the ball and go to first base himself,
you're not beating Mookie Betts.
Gerrit Cole still has to get over.
Yes.
You still have to get over. Get over.
Yes.
Not walk and take a line and get there. Because anything could have happened. He could have bobbled it. It could have not been clean. He could have booted it. Yeah. Anything could have happened. And then they're saying, like, once he realized that Gerrit Cole wasn't going to make it, he should have ran over to the base. Like, you know how much fucking... That's not easy. That's not easy.
Bullshit.
Just like... Yeah, he can't just turn on the jets and dive over there.
It's Anthony Rizzo. What jets does he have?
So now everybody's saying they don't want him to come back just because of that shit. It's like, dude, what are you talking about?
They declined his option. He's gone. He's a free agent.
Gone. Which I think is a miss. He's good. He gets hurt a lot for stupid shit, but he's good.
So I see something like that, and I think the Yankees are in play for either Alonso or Christian Walker. So, or trading for Paul Goldschmidt. Like
That makes more sense to me. They should have went after him at the trade deadline, actually. At least I felt, because at that time, Andy Rizzo was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see the Ghostman thing. I don't think Alonso. I still think Alonso's going to be a Cub. I would be shocked if he wasn't a Cub.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Alonso went there, because the Yankees are going to spend if they lose out on Soto. They got money to burn. So it would strike me as odd, because Pete Alonso has such ties to the Mets, that he would do that. But it wouldn't surprise me, like, if it was the only option available, or if it was the only really lucrative option available.
What, to go to the Yankees?
Yeah. He's a Boris Klein. At the end of the day, he's going to end up where the money is. So the Cubs may suit him better, but, you know, he's going to end up where the money is, for sure. I've seen him linked to Houston. I've seen Alonso linked to the Nationals. Yeah. I don't see that. Like, I mean...
What? Oh, in division?
Well, not so much in divisions. Like, I don't think they're ready yet. I don't think they're ready for a back like him. You know, like I get he has Dave Kingman-esque.
Where's Corbin Burns going?
I think he ends up with the Mets. I think so, just because of the ties with John Stearns.
He wants $200 million.
I don't think he's going to get $200 million.
That's what he wants.
He may want that, but, you know, and I would like, you know... But, you know, everybody's got their asking price until they actually review the market. And then you end up like JD Martinez signing 5 days before the season starts. Or you end up with Jordan Montgomery, you know, whose owner says the worst fucking contract of the off season. And somehow Jordan Montgomery's still there. They re-upped him. They picked up his option. So, you know, I read into that what you will. But yeah, Gerrit Cole, I think he was trying to shake down the Yankees, and the Yankees said, "Fuck you." No, absolutely not. Your elbow is not the cleanest in the world. I'm not going to pay you $36 million. You know, at age 39. You're 34 already. You want me to guarantee you $36 million when you're 39? Get the fuck out of here. No, that's not happening. So I really think it was an attempt at a shakedown, but the Yankees actually grew a set and called his bluff. You know, because where I mean, Gerrit Cole would absolutely have his market, but that elbow is not the cleanest, man. And 34 with an unclean elbow. Good luck getting that 4 years, $144 million. Good luck. Good luck. So. And a complete misstep on his part. So definitely an F. A+ for the Yankees, actually. I'm going to change my grade to an A+ for the Yankees for standing their ground. Fuck you. That's right. Leave that check on first base and see if he goes over there to pick it up. Oh, Jesus Christ. And this is only the beginning of the hot stove, guys. I'm just throwing that out there. So keep an eye out. Watch this space, because things are really going to start to get weird around here very, very soon. Well, what do you want us to grade? Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on IG at FadeRoutePodcast, or drop us a line on X at FadeRouteDNZ and let us know. But for now, class dismissed.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today and check out our releases in apparel, accessories, drinkware, and more. Ever wanted an Alleged Superstar t-shirt? We got those. You want some yoga pants? We got those too. And we're not done yet. We have a lot of exciting collaborations and new products on the way. But check out what we have now at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. Who's the best of the worst this week in sports? The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award.
All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ and our Instagram account at FadeRoutePodcast, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D?
I don't.
Gerrit Cole. We just got done talking about him. Yeah, you can run to first base and cover and pick up the coveted ass trophy on first base at Yankee Stadium. You can pick that right up there, Gerrit. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
All right, first up, I've got commentator Tom Brady. Great quarterback, but dude, you are a terrible announcer. They gave you the Lions versus the Packers, and you gave us nothing. No insight into Goff, a guy who you faced in the Super Bowl, and nothing about Jordan Love playing hurt. Maybe it's an injury you might have suffered, or maybe you could explain, what happens and how you have to change playing quarterback when you have an injury like that. You pretend to be excited over matchups in the beginning of the show, like way too excited. Give me Romo, give me Greg Olsen, give me Moose Johnson, but anybody but you. Tom Brady, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Number 2, Derek Carr. With the loss against the Carolina Panthers over the weekend, you became the first quarterback to lose to all 32 NFL teams.
Well done.
You're also handing out tickets to the hospital by serving it up to Olave and almost getting him killed. He had to go to the hospital after you threw him a pass. You also got your head coach fired because you lost to the Carolina Panthers, who are awful. Awful. Derek Carr, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. And last but not least, the Milwaukee Bucks. 1-6, last place in the East with Giannis and Dame Lillard on your roster. Do better, boys. Just do better. Milwaukee Bucks, you are my Alleged Superstars of the Week. What do you got, Z?
Derek Carr got Dennis Allen fired twice. Not once, but twice. He got his ass fired with the Raiders. It's like, oh, great. You again. God damn it. What the fuck? I thought I was rid of you. I was coming here. I thought I was going to get Drew Brees. This is going to be fucking awesome. And then Drew Brees goes and leaves. Fuck. Son of a bitch. Dennis Allen can't catch a break. He's got to get away from fucking Derek Carr. I think that's the problem. Oh, Jesus Christ. I am going to start with Jameis Winston. After that win, where you thought you might have had some hope, right? You beat the Ravens 27-41, 66% passing, 3 tutties, 334 yards. Things are looking awesome. Yeah, no. You lose 27-10 to the Chargers, 26-46, 3 picks. You look like Jameis. You look like pre-LASIK Jameis. So,
Pre-LASIK Jameis.
Yeah. It's over. Like that little glimmer of hope that the Browns had. Yeah, no, it's gone. It's gone. Sorry. Jameis Winston, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys. Trading a 4th round pick to the Carolina Panthers for Jonathan Mingo. Just want to make sure I'm checking my notes, making sure I got that correct. Yes, Jonathan Mingo. Now, I was not familiar with Mr. Mingo's oeuvre until researching this show, and frankly, for the life of me, I don't know what he has done to warrant that haul from the Cowboys. When you consider what the Chiefs gave up for DeAndre Hopkins, yeah, this looks like drunken sailor shit from Jerry Jones. You lost Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb is banged up, and then you go and you get held over a barrel by the Carolina fucking Panthers. Who got in this trade? You got, Jerry. And I really think it's time. It is absolutely time for Mr. Jones to cede some responsibility and name a GM. Just do it for your own sake, Jerry, because they ain't winning shit with you running the show. Peaked in 95. That's kind of what's going on here. Dallas Cowboys, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And last but not least, let's go with the Las Vegas Raiders. Antonio Pierce, in a sweeping cleaning of house, fired the O-line coach, fired the offensive coordinator, and yeah, just kind of went Godfather on them. Just get the fuck out. We're changing your key cards. Get out. That's not surprising because Luke Getsy wasn't that great when he was with the Bears. But it's who replaced Mr. Getsy that I find very interesting. What year is this? 2024, right? Last time I checked. Norv Turner has a job in the NFL. Norv Turner is a senior advisor to the interim offensive coordinator, Scott Turner. Are we kidding right now? Are you kidding? Are we being punked? Is that what's going on here? In no way, shape, or form should Norv Turner and that vanilla-ass offense have a role in the modern NFL. That peaked with Marty Ball. So, it was so long ago, Phillip Rivers was still a Charger. The Chargers were still in San Diego. There you go. That's how long ago Norv Turner peaked in the NFL. The one interesting name, though, is Joe Philbin. He's the interim offensive line coach. Yeah. Quite a cast of characters going into Las Vegas. But, yeah, a whole lot of meh going there as well. Las Vegas Raiders, you are my alleged superstar of the week. I think we said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Go to our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast and vote. And vote, and vote, and vote. And for our nominees.
You're better than that. Just do better. Just do better.
This has been the Fade Route with D&Z. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcast. So until next time, stay fade, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review, rate us 5 stars, turn on subscription notifications, and share on social media. Tell your friends and spread the word.